me so I can roll you up.
It's been a long time since both of these teams have been in a semifinal game. For Kennedy, it was the 2016-2017 season, of which they lost to East Hartford. And for Ledyard, it's been since the 2013-2014 season, of which it was a close game against Bridgeport Central. One of these streaks will be snapped here at Kennedy High School. WHCR's 75th consecutive year of high school basketball is sponsored by DeGiorgi Roofing, Jeweler International, for the local neighborhood Waterbury Pharmacies, including Bunker Hill Pharmacy, and by Ion Bank. Hello everybody, Chris Saunders alongside Dave Grant. This is the quarterfinal in Division 3. The winner of this game plays the winner of Berlin and Kobe. If Kennedy was to win, it will be a rematch of Kobe in the regular season. And for Ledyard, it would be a first matchup with either Kobe or Berlin, because they did not play during the regular season.
And you failed to say how they did against them in the regular season?
Kennedy did not fare very well against Kobe. I was trying to avoid that.
Well, Kobe's in a good division. What division are they in over there?
SWC.
Oh, whose team is in that division? Huh?
Tall Couch. Tim Tall Couch himself.
And who else? Oh, that's right, the Pomperaug Panthers.
Oh, I wonder who went to Pomperaug.
I don't know. I couldn't think of anyone off the top of my head. Chris, great to be here. Hopefully this is not our last game of the season. We hope that Kennedy advances. We're also going to be checking in with the athletic director over at Holy Cross. The Holy Cross High girls are playing in the semis tonight. If they make it, they will be Ledyard bound to Mohegan. Isn't that funny, Ledyard bound to Mohegan? But in any case, this is going to be a good game tonight. Now, Chris, I know that you have a friendship with the two coaches from Ledyard through your interactions with various things, and both of them were nice enough to come over and talk to us about their team. And this, I think, is going to be like Kennedy facing a once before high-grade Crosby team that works methodically their offense off of their defense. They love to trap. Coach said that they're very fundamentally sound. They will box out. They will take the charge. They're not concerned so much about setting up for an offense. However, they can if need be. They really want to get into a transition game, and that's the type of game that Kennedy likes to play too. So he who's scoring best is going to win this game, and obviously, but I mean, this is going to be a well balanced and well-matched game tonight.
To carry what you said about the defense of Ledyard, they allowed under 60 points 12 times during the regular season. Kennedy scored over 70, 16 times, over 80, 8 times. This is kind of like an offense versus defense if you want to compare football, the high-powering offense versus a high defensive team. And in my conversations with DJ Exum, who's in his first season with Ledyard, Ledyard the number 12 seed, Kennedy the number 4 seed. Ledyard had to go through a little bit of a path. They had to beat Massac, that was their home game, and then they defeated Ram, who had a bye. Ram, I think, was the number 5 seed.
Number 5 seed, they upset him, yes.
And one thing in particular that Coach Exum said to me, nobody thought Ledyard would be here. And he referred back to Game Time, who actually picked against them against Massac. And he said, at that point, my team said, you know what? We're out to prove something. And right now, they're 2 wins away from proving a whole lot of people wrong.
They absolutely are. And again, you know, we had this conversation before we went on air. You were asking me, Dave, you know, what do you say when you got a good offensive team going against a good defensive team? Who wins? And I told you yes. And you looked at me with 4 eyes. Yes. Who wins in a game like that? It really depends. There's no black and white answer to that. If you got a great defensive team going against a great offensive team, but that their defense does not bother the other team's offense, well, then that team with the great offense is going to win. However, if that great defensive team throws a wrench in their motor and sort of gets them off cue in their offense, well, then that's when the defensive team turns around and wins. So it's going to be really interesting to see which team here establishes themselves.
Now we look on the Kennedy side. This is a team that had a bye in their first round game, so obviously they win because they can't lose on the bye unless you're the Dallas Cowboys.
I was
that's
waiting
a
for
little bit
that's
different.
Good. There you go.
I had to mention my Cowboys.
Yeah.
You know, they're just another story. But then Kennedy defeated Guilford, which was a close game because I was following the tweets from Kevin Roberts, who was here today from the Rep AM, always does a fine job. The Kennedy game against Guilford was close up until the end, and then they started to pull away. They defeated Guilford 72-61. The question I have for you, Dave, we've seen Kennedy quite a bit, and we know that they can go on a streak where they can score in bunches or they give up points in bunches because of, I don't know if it's lackadaisical play or maybe it's trying to be a little bit too cute with the basketball. Dave, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, sometimes when a team is really running away with the game, they tend to sometimes revert back to, okay, you know, we don't have to run our offense, we don't have to run our defense, we got this game in hand. Now as everyone goes individual and saying, I want to put my points and get my points up here, and that's the death of a team when something like that happens. That's the coach's job, to recognize that, stop that, and regroup the team. And, you know, there's no better coach out there than Armin Levasseur, you know, to do something like that. He has brought a discipline to this team that they haven't experienced. A lot different than the prior coach. Not saying the prior coach wasn't good. I'm just saying a lot different, and a lot different things are expected out of him. So he sort of is instilled in this year his culture, for lack of a better word. So I think that, you know, we're this far in the season. We've seen Kennedy early in the season. Okay, I didn't see them in any of the MVL games in the tournament, so I don't know what they did there. But we saw them more earlier in the season, and when they weren't as refined and, you know, not operating, you know, buying into the coach's philosophy 100% as of yet. I think they're at that point right now. They're in the quarterfinals. Oh, before, you know, one other question for you. How come?
And kudos to the coaching staffs.
Yeah, you know, and when you get to this level, let me tell you, and this far in the tournament, one of two things is going to propel you. Either you're going to have that dominating team like the Mustafa Heron Sacred Heart School, or you're going to have a team that is completely on board with their coach, and their coach is constantly adjusting and makes the better adjustments versus the other coach to win and to move on to the next level. We're at that, you know, the old famous, Indiana State, you know, you survive in advance.
And speaking of that, too, how about the brackets that came out yesterday? On top of Tom Brady saying he was coming back.
Well, he couldn't let Aaron Rodgers get more money than him. You know, he had to go out with being the top paid quarterback. So I guess that's why he came back.
Now, real quick, Dave, the gym of which the Kennedy High School is named after, you broadcasted with that.
With Jack Tagley.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Jack Tagley was a wonderful coach, wonderful guidance counselor. He was the guidance counselor for one of my daughters. Mm-hmm. Just a phenomenal person, very knowledgeable in the game of basketball, got the most out of his players, longevity, and I don't think there's anyone that's ever come into contact with him that wouldn't say that they respected him and admired what he accomplished as a coach and a mentor here at Kennedy.
Now, I'm surprised that there's not a lot of people here. That is very shocking to me, Dave.
Yeah, for a quarterfinal. I mean, it's a Monday night, but I mean, a quarterfinal, you would think that you would have a lot more fan base here. You do have a decent fan base from Kennedy, but not a knock it out of the park fan base. Hopefully, if they advance, maybe it'll be a little different. Maybe they'll get some buses and travel for the semis. I don't know. You know, kids today are funny. We used to go to basketball games as kids growing up, because that's where you got to meet, or football games. That's where you got to see your friends. That's where you got to interact, and you had a common thing to root your high school team on. Well, now with all this social media and everything, you know, they don't have to come out to interact with their friends, and a lot of them don't anymore. So it's a shame.
The starting five for the Ledyard Colonials, the number 12 seed. Number 0, senior Albert Frank. Number 3, sophomore Peyton Luther. Number 15, junior Ryan Outlaw. Number 33, senior Connor Keefe. And number 35, senior Jarrell Cagle. And for the number 4 seed, the Kennedy Eagles, coached by Armin Levasseur. Number 5, senior Sincere Alves. Number 10, senior Manny Beeman. Number 20, senior Chauncey Hicks. Number 21, senior David Zielinski. And number 33, junior Lennox Serrano, the starting five for Kennedy and Ledyard. And now we'll send it back to the station. We come back, tip-off here from Kennedy High School. This, the quarterfinal in Division III, right here on 1320 WHR 97.7 FM. For the Ledyard Colonials, Frank, Luther, Outlaw, Keefe, Cagle. And for Kennedy, Alves, Beeman, Hicks, Zielinski, Serrano, the starting five for both Kennedy and Ledyard.
And Alves is 10 points away from hitting his 1,000th point. So if he hits it here tonight, there will be a stoppage of play to obviously congratulate him and get him a game ball. And, the coaches on both sides are aware of that, obviously. And that's a neat thing when that happens.
Kennedy in their home whites and Ledyard in their away dark blue with white trim on the sides. Dave, the rest for today.
3 officials, Steve Zarzuri, Pete Benzente, and Eric Riley, all of the Fairfield board. I've seen all 3 of these refs, and they were very good the last time I saw them.
And possession begins with the Kennedy Eagles by the battle of the 33s in Serrano and Keefe. As the defense for Ledyard, their bench saying defense, and they're loud. Beeman over to Chauncey Hicks. Hicks driving outside Serrano, long range 3. It's a little bit short, fighting for the ball, and it will be the Ledyard Colonials as a one and done for Kennedy. Frank with possession, wearing 0, going outside to Luther, the sophomore. Luther to Outlaw. Outlaw, right corner to Cagle, 3. No good, fighting for the ball, hit out, and it'll be kept, however, by the Kennedy Eagles, one and done on both sides. Second possession for Kennedy, 3 by Alves, yes! And the Kennedy Eagles strike with a 3. He's 7 away from 1,000. 3-0 Kennedy over Ledyard, 7 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Kennedy's come out in a 2-3 zone while Ledyard is in a strict man-to-man defense. Let's see how they both react to him. Big guy goes inside, puts it up, nothing but net. Keefe there, little jump hook.
3-2 still in favor of Kennedy. Beeman wearing number 10, guarded by Luther. Luther still guarding. This is a tenacious defense of Ledyard. Alves inside the 3-point line, now near the left elbow, gives it to Zielinski. Zielinski fighting on contact. He misses the bunny, puts in for a second chance. It's good by David Zielinski, his first points of the game. It's 5-2 Kennedy over Ledyard.
Zielinski's got to be active on the offensive boards. He's got to be a scorer here tonight for Kennedy to win this game.
Alves is on Luther. The ball is loose. Luther's got to be careful, and he traveled. The defense of Kennedy. And how about the teamwork, Dave?
Hey, listen, we talked about Ledyard coming out defense. You can't forget, Kennedy knows how to play a good trapping defense as well.
Alves guarded quickly outside to Beeman. Beeman dribbles to Serrano from the left elbow. It's short and right to the hands of Brian Outlaw of Ledyard, and now he's in transition. He makes the pass over to Luther. And
turned it over.
Yes, he did.
They're going to call palming. You don't see a lot of that called. But he did a little hesitation and got his hand underneath the ball. And anytime your hand goes underneath the ball, they're going to call over and under.
Caden Whipple, the senior, is in, and the player that committed the 2 turnovers in Luther is out, Dave.
Well, sometimes you got to regroup.
Beeman, guarded by Whipple, going for the steal. Back outside, Alves, right corner 3. No good, one and done is Kennedy. There's Whipple coming off the bench. Whipple on the drive. He misses the bunny in the right low post. And then Chauncey Hicks trying to dribble by a defender. The ball is loose again. Kennedy, and then Cagle takes it right back for Ledger. Cagle, and then Beeman takes it away from Cagle. How about that? On the drive, and the miss dug by Zielinski. Chauncey Hicks throws it then right over to Ledyard again. That's Frank the senior. One bounce pass to Whipple. 3, fadeaway, no good. Off the hands of Serrano, regained by Ledyard. That's Frank. Frank over to Whipple. Now Cagle in the left corner. The 3 is good, and we're tied, 5-5.
A lot of action on that back and forth. Nobody wanted to score until finally Ledyard buried that 3.
We're tied at 5 with 5 minutes to go in this first quarter between the number 12, Ledyard, and number 4, the Kennedy Eagles. Alves dribbling. Alves, and a foul call that's going to be on Ledyard. That's Frank, his first. Team's first, and a substitution for Ledyard as it looked to be that Outlaw is out. In will be number 12, Jonah Eddy, who is also the punter on the Ledyard football team. And
Coach Eckham does not want to see those little touch fouls being called because that takes away his game plan.
Alves, another 3. He misses. And it's a one and done, Dave, for Kennedy again from the 3-point line.
Can't live by the 3, you'll die by the 3.
Cagle over to Whipple, guarded by Beeman. Ledyard going right to left on your dial, Kennedy left to right. Outside Whipple again. And then Beeman takes it away from Whipple, number 2. Beeman driving. Beeman then misses the bunny in the right low post. And that's a costly miss as he went for the steal. He swung and missed. Whipple over to Frank. Frank over to Cagle in the right low post. One dribble, and he'll put it in from the right low post. The first lead of the game for Ledyard. He has 5 points, does Jarrell Cagle, the senior, number 35.
Kennedy has got to convert when you've got those little 2-foot shots. You can't be missing those bunnies up close.
8-5 in favor of Ledyard. Another errant pass from Serrano. It's stripped away. A turnover by the Kennedy Eagles. Whipple, right side to Cagle. Cagle, the Whipple. Frank, all by his lonesome again for another 3. He misses it. Serrano gets a defensive rebound. One and done is Ledyard. Beeman, vertical pass, Alves. Alves pump fakes. Alves goes in. He makes it in the right low post. He's got 5. And we're tied 7-7. They made a correction on the scoreboard. They had 8-5, now it's 7-7. 3:24 to go in this first quarter. Our second tie of the game. Whipple to Frank. Frank guarded by Alves. As Ledyard goes right to left on your dial. Cagle, and a travel by Cagle. That's another turnover by Ledyard, their 3rd.
But those are forced turnovers. You know, those are some things that coaches can handle because kids are going to make mistakes that way. What they really can't stand is the unforced turnover.
James Green is in, also a football player on the Ledyard football squad. Out will be Frank, number 0. Beeman with the score tied 7-7. Beeman on the contest, and he draws the foul off of Keefe. His first, team's 2nd.
Keefe had a great shot block on that. However, his body hit into him, and that's where they called the contact. You see the coach over saying, where's the foul? Where's the foul? Well, it wasn't on the ball. It was with the body.
Dave, Keefe is a large young man.
Yeah, he is. He's about 6'6", and he's got some length in his arms, too.
He is a senior wearing number 33. Beeman's first free throw is no good. Not good, as free throws are a must here in the CIAC playoffs.
Oh, you have to make a high percentage of your free throws or you're going home.
Yep. Beeman missed the first free throw. The second free throw is good. 1 of 2 is Beeman from the free throw line. Kennedy is back up top, 8-7 over Ledyard with 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Whipple guarded by Beeman as Ledyard goes right to left. Now Alves guarding Green, the junior. Green pump fakes to Cagle. Cagle, charity stripe, back outside to Whipple. Whipple guarded quickly by Beeman. Outside, the 3 by Ledyard is good. That's number 12 in Jonah Eddy. His first points of the game. It's 10-8 in favor of Ledyard. 2:40 to go in this first quarter.
A lot of action going on out there. Just what we expect from this game. And you got Ledyard still staying in their man-to-man defense.
Beeman to Trueheart, who's into the game for Kennedy. And we're going to have a jump ball call, possession, Ledyard.
I was kind of blocked by the official there, so I couldn't see that play. I couldn't see if there was any contact or not on that play, but they called the jump ball, and it's going to go the other way.
Keefe will be inbounding to Whipple. Also has Jonah Eddy, Cagle, and Green for Ledyard. Whipple quickly 3/4 of the court. He's driving, had the ball slapped away. Last touch, however, by Kennedy, and possession stays with Ledyard behind the Kennedy.
Beeman's got to be careful. A lot of officials, when you slap down hard on the ball, they're going to call a foul on that. He got away with it probably there.
Green from 10 feet had it maybe been hit off his hand. No foul called. He'll go back over to Kennedy. Trueheart on the drive. He then had it slapped away. Possession stays with Kennedy. And I have to admit, Dave, I think Trueheart got lucky. He could have been called for an offensive charge there.
Absolutely. It was totally out of control. The referees let that contact go, but they could have easily called that a charge.
Serrano to Beeman. The three.
Got it.
Good. Manny Beeman. He's got 4. It's 11-10 Kennedy. 2 minutes to go in this first quarter in the Division III quarterfinal between Ledyard and Kennedy. Chris Saunders alongside Dave Grant. And then Whipple throws it right over to Trueheart. Floats it high. And then there's Green to intercept it. He then regains the dribble. No, he doesn't. The ball is loose. And a timeout called by Ledyard.
Now, how can you call that timeout? Nobody had possession of that ball whatsoever. I guess we're going to take a break, too.
1:48 to go in this first quarter. It's 10, or rather, I'm being facetious, by the way.
Obviously.
First free throw is good by Cagle. Now, Cagle, speaking of 1,000-point scores, he scored his 1,000-point against Massac in the first-round game, and that was at home, by the way, for Ledyard.
Good for him. Massac Panthers. I know, I played against them. It was in our league.
SWC, yep.
Yep.
Second free throw by Cagle is good. It's a 1-point lead for Kennedy. 13-12, under a minute to play in this first quarter, the Division III quarterfinal between number 12, Ledyard, and number 4, Kennedy. Alves guarded by Green. Alves, step back. Alves outside to Serrano. Serrano gives it to Zielinski. Zielinski, the bump. Zielinski with the finish. Dave, that was a nice finish by Zielinski.
Great stutter step there to freeze the defensive player, get it up, kiss it off the glass.
It's a 3-point lead for Kennedy. Outlaw.
That's a charge.
Offensive foul on Ryan Outlaw. He dropped the elbow. His first, team's third.
Yeah.
He called it right
I knew it right away. He dropped his 1,000th point, calling his family down. Actually, Coach Levasseur took a 30-second timeout so that they could honor their senior. He's calling for his family to come down so that they can take a picture together. The officials actually came over to tell us that, and that was a cool thing, even though we knew that was going to happen. Now you're going to have Coach Levasseur hand him the ball, and you get a picture. I guess that's his dad here with him. And
see, I was told it was 10 points. So
yeah,
I guess it was 8 points.
It was 8 points, yeah.
Okay.
There was a little discrepancy as to what it was, but from the crowd, obviously it's 8 points, because when he hit that, that went over to his 8th and 9th point. That's a big accomplishment as a senior.
It really is.
Nice thing for them to do to honor him, and that he got it before his season was over. You know how he would have felt if he went away, if they lost the last game and he went away, you know, 8 points shy of his 1,000th point.
Now, and just by knowing Sincere Alves, I don't think him eclipsing 1,000 points or getting to 1,000, I think will take away from the main goal, which is, and I think the rest of the team would agree, getting to the sun. Would you say that maybe that kind of distracts and kind of disrupts the momentum that they had? Not
if you're a team player and the man's a team player. He was just going to take it as it came. It didn't matter when it happened, and the win is what they want.
Second quarter is underway, beginning with Kennedy. Trueheart on the drive, an offensive foul on Kennedy. That's Trueheart, his second, team second. And now Coach Levasseur has to figure out, do I keep Akeem Trueheart in?
That was bound to happen, and you know what? This is what we were talking about at the beginning of the game. That player actually started to fall before there was contact whatsoever, but the officials wanted to have that little doopsie-doodle and highlight, calling a charge. That really should not have been called a charge.
Luther guarded by Beeman, gives over to Green. Green, he traveled. May have slipped a little bit as he was trying to cut back, Dave, from the right elbow.
Yeah, now look at this. Ledyard's going to go full court man-to-man here.
I'm not surprised by this at all.
No, I'm not either.
Serrano inbounding, gives it over to Beeman. Beeman guarded by Luther. Now they retreat. Beeman trying to go by.
Oh, they're going to call a foul on that.
Yes, that's going to be on Frank. That's his second, team's fourth. That's a hard foul.
Now, Coach Ledyard's got to realize that they're going to call that contact on the trap, and he's got to tell his players, we can trap, but you've got to keep your hands, don't go reaching in and everything. You're going to get it called on you.
Serrano's inbounding. Gives it to Beeman. Kennedy going left to right on your dial. 17-12 in favor of Kennedy. 3 by Zielinski is no good. Defensive rebound by Frank, and we'll have a whistle blown. That's going to be on Kennedy.
Yep, I told you, this is how it's going to go. You got to learn what the officials are going to call, and you have to adjust your game to it. There are times where they'll let them bump, and there's times when they'll call the foul like that. And he's calling the foul, and Coach Lavasser's arguing his point, but he's not going to get through to him.
That's on Trueheart. That's his third.
Yeah.
We may not see him for the rest of this game, and now we're reaching on Beeman.
And so now we are seeing that we are going to call the little tic-tac fouls, and so the players, again, need to adjust to that. You can't start reaching now, or the fouls are going to pile up. There's 5 on Ledyard and 4 on Kennedy.
Jonah Eddy, the sophomore, inbounding. Over to Frank, guarded by Beeman. Frank going to Zielinski. It's intercepted by Zielinski. Zielinski dunks it hard with the right hand. Zielinski's got 6. It was an authoritative dunk. 19-12 Kennedy.
You could see the adrenaline dripping off his sweat on that.
Jonah Eddy wearing number 12 outside to Luther. Luther dribbling with the right hand as Ledyard goes right to left on your dial. Whipple and Cagle waiting to come back in for Ledyard. Outside is Frank. Frank will dribble a couple times to Outlaw. Green. Green still dribbling, guarded by Serrano. The defense for Kennedy. Outlaw, what a drive, and finishes. His first points of the game. A nice drop step from Ryan Outlaw. A full court press for Ledyard. 19-14 still in favor of Kennedy. Beeman dribbling, gets by mid, now 3/4 of the court. Beeman to Serrano. Zielinski. Everybody's getting a touch. Give and go, and the finish. What a play. Serrano with the points in the left low post. His first points of the game is 21-14 Kennedy.
And that is how you break a trapping defense. You get the ball, and you keep looking, and and you get the cutter going in. And there went off the Kennedy player. Ledyard got the ball. Easy bucket. And again, touch fouls being called all over the place. You got to adjust. That's number 6. Next time Ledyard fouls, the Kennedy Eagles will be going 1-1. And there's 6:01 left in this half, with the Kennedy Eagles leading 21-16.
Serrano is inbounding. Green is out for Ledyard. Also have Frank as well. Back in is Cagle and Whipple.
Ledyard's gone to a 1-3-1 zone. Let's see how Kennedy reacts to it.
Beeman. One bounce, horizontal passes Zielinski back to Beeman. Beeman to Alves. Alves, who just hit 1,000 points in his career. Alves, Zielinski for the triple. Bang! The 3 by Zielinski. He's got 5 in this quarter, had 4 in the first.
And Kennedy now with a double-digit lead, leading by 10. Oh, no. Sorry. I forgot to put up the Ledyard basket on the last one. That's why. That's why I was there. Okay. Not a double-digit lead. 8-point lead.
But we do have a foul on Keefe. That's his second, team 7th.
And now we will shoot 1-1.
Dave, for the amount of times that I've made mistakes this season, it's okay if you make one. Because you've helped me more out than you
Listen,
know.
Mistakes are made. It happens. See, this is why it's a good thing when we're on radio only, because people can't tell if we really make a mistake anyway. You know, my dad always said I had a great face for radio.
Now, it looks like there was only 6, so they did not have, I had the fouls right. I had 6.
Okay, so they didn't on the board.
Okay, so there's only 6 for Ledyard.
Now
4 for Kennedy.
Ledyard's going to a 1-3-1 half-court trap.
Beeman to Serrano, horizontal. Serrano gets by 3/4 of the court. Zielinski to Beeman. Beeman, no look to Chauncey Hicks. Right low post finish. And then Beeman putting the goggles on, saying, I see you, Chauncey Hicks.
Now they can say it's a double-digit lead.
10-point lead, as you heard Dave mention, for Kennedy. Whipple gives it over to Ryan Outlaw. Outlaw to Cagle for the 3. Misses the 3. Serrano gets a defensive rebound, finds Beeman. Beeman quickly, 3/4. Beeman to Alves. Alves, don't shoot.
Oh my God, that was an NBA. I hope he was just playing.
I say that for anybody. Please don't shoot that. That'd be far. Zielinski from the free throw line misses. One and done for Kennedy. Keefe on the defensive rebound. Keefe will give it over to Whipple. Vertical pass to Luther, then Beeman almost had it intercepted. It stays with Ledyard. As we'll have a substitution. Green is coming back for Ledyard. Out will be number 3, Peyton Luther, the sophomore. Inbounding is Whipple from 3/4 of the court on the Kennedy side. As Ledyard goes right to left. Gives it over to Ryan Outlaw. Outlaw drawing 2. Now 1. Gives it to Whipple. Whipple has a lane. Whipple pump fakes in the left low post. Back to Outlaw for 3.
Got
yes!
it.
Ryan Outlaw got the 3. He's got 5. And that's a big 3, Dave.
That is not letting this game get totally away from them. They got to get some converts to keep this a game.
It's a 7-point lead for Kennedy. With 4:10 to go in this first half. Serrano, Alves fakes 2 defenders. Outlaw defending Alves, throws it high, it's intercepted by Ledyard. They're on the transition, and Whipple will finish in the right low post. Easy points for the senior. It's now a 5-point lead for Kennedy. Under 4 to play in this first half.
Now remember what we talked about when you had the lead, what happens? 2 shot, oh my goodness. That was a great block, I thought, by Ledyard. Going up there was number 1, James Green. I thought he got all ball on that. You see, listen, we're an MVL. I root for the Eagles, okay? But I'm calling the fouls the way they are. You know, whether it doesn't matter if it's against Kennedy or not against Kennedy. I thought that was a good block.
First free throw by Serrano. Good. Kennedy was 1 of 2 in the first quarter. They're now 2 of 3. Substitution for Ledyard as Green is out. Back in is Frank. Serrano is waiting his second free throw. Serrano will bend. The free throw is no good. 1 of 2 is Serrano from the free throw line. Kennedy 2 of 4 in the first half. Ledyard is 2 of 2. Cagle with a 6-point lead for Kennedy. Off the, looks to have been the ankle of Cagle, but it stays with Ledyard. Outlaw driving. Outlaw working on Hicks, and we'll have a foul on Chauncey Hicks. That's going to be his first, team's 5th. And 2 free throws coming for Ryan Outlaw.
You know, I don't get these kids sometimes. I mean, it's a blatant foul, and you look at the ref like, how could you call that?
I mean, they're trying to plead their case.
Well, you can plead your case if it's a close one, but when it's as blatant as that, you got to know when to massage the refs and when not to, you know?
First free throw was missed by Ryan Outlaw. Ledyard, their first missed free throw of the game.
And you could tell when they went to man-to-man that Outlaw wants that ball down to the post because he's a post player.
Also running back 2 on the football team. Second free throw, good by Outlaw. He's got 6. Ledyard now 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Kennedy quickly on transition. Alves dribbles a couple times in the paint. Give and go to Beeman. Beeman, and a hard reaching foul by Ledyard. That's Whipple. That's a hard foul.
Yeah. But that's a foul, but, you know.
Team's 8th. Whipple's first. But I have to admit, though, Dave, no matter how many fouls are, Ledyard will stick to what has been their strength this entire season and postseason.
They have to.
Defense.
They have to.
Exactly.
That is what's propelled them to where they are right now. They have to do that.
Beeman back at the free throw line, made his second, missed his first back in the first quarter. He's got 4 thus far. Hasn't scored in the second quarter. The 1-and-1 is good. He's got now 5 as Kennedy is 3 of 5 from the free throw line.
Good form by the young man that time.
He's a good player too.
Yeah. I like his game.
Beeman bends, made the first, makes the second free throw. He's got 6. Kennedy 4 of 6 from the free throw line. 3:17 to go in this first half. A 7-point lead for Kennedy. Eddie to Cagle. Cagle drawing a defender. Whipple for 3. A little bit too hard. Outlaw tries to hit it high, but it goes right to a Kennedy player. That's Zielinski. Zielinski to Alves. Alves. Give and go to Serrano. Serrano to Hicks. Serrano the assist, and Hicks the points. Hicks with 4. 31-22. Kennedy over Ledyard.
Great team play by Kennedy. I think it was 1 too many passes, but they did get the bucket, so I guess it worked. Oh, there we go. Oh, couldn't get time. Oh, it went underneath.
My partner tried to save the ball, but his legs are not that long, even though you are very tall.
I'm not as quick as I used to be. Sorry, I couldn't get to it. The referees, he's got to go all the way underneath there. Watch your head coming out of there. There you go.
Serrano will be inbounding. 31-22 in favor of the number 4 seed Kennedy.
Okay, Ledyard's back to strict man-to-man now, too.
Beeman gets by Whipple. Now finds Zielinski. Zielinski goes cross. Zielinski driving. Zielinski finishes in the right low post. What a play by Zielinski. It's an 11-point lead for Kennedy. Outlaw wants it. Outlaw back outside to Jonah Eddy. Eddy to Whipple. Whipple then lost the ball, and they'll call a foul on Kennedy. Is that on Serrano, or is it on Hicks? That's on triple threes. That's Serrano, his first, team 6th.
Again, I don't know what everyone was had a commotion about. There was a lot of contact there on that play. You had to call a foul.
3 by Ledyard. It's a miss. And then there's Cagle right there, and they call another foul on the right low post. This time it's going to be on, I think they call that on Alves.
And I got to tell you what.
And they did.
Cagle got away with an elbow, pushing Zielinski underneath the basketball to get that rebound. Referees didn't see that one. They can't see them all.
Cagle at the free throw line, made both in the first quarter. 3 of 3 is Cagle. He has 8. Ledyard now 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Second free throw by Cagle. Bends is no good. Hicks gets a defensive rebound, but no, they call it jump ball, and possession stays with Ledyard.
What happened there, Chris? Go ahead, tell me. What did the man do wrong?
Brought it down to the Squirrels.
Brought it down to the Squirrels. They'll go after that every single time.
Whipple inbounding. 33-23, a 10-point lead for Kennedy. Frank.
Jump ball. Jump ball.
Jump ball. Possession should be Kennedy, and it will.
Yep. Wow.
And look who it was. It was Alves right there to get it.
Yep. I was hoping they were going to call it jump ball because that's what I thought it was.
Serrano is inbounding, and now Ledyard again. They have 4 players up. Beeman trying to get by Eddy, and he does. Mid-court. Still dribbling is Beeman. Eddy guarding Beeman. Beeman, step back. Beeman had the reach, and they didn't call the foul. That's a steal for Ledyard. And Eddy driving. And no foul called on the right low post. Possession back to Kennedy. And it's Zielinski on the drive. Zielinski a little bit too hard. Hicks fighting for it. And it's taken away by Ledyard. Here they go, the Colonials. And Whipple will finish in the right low post. The easy bunny, he's got 4. 33-25. Kennedy over Ledyard. Serrano to Alves. Alves with a reach-in foul by Ledyard. I think they'll call that on Jonah Eddy, and they will. That's his first, team's 9th. 1-and-1 time for Kennedy again.
I'm going to tell you what, Kennedy can really secure this game if they can hit a high percentage of their free throws.
This will be Alves' first free throw of the game. He has 9 points. He takes a breath. The free throw is no good. 4 of 7 is Kennedy from the free throw line, quickly in transition. And then Beeman took it right back from Whipple, but it's off his hands. Possession stays with Ledyard. And we'll have a substitution as Chauncey Hicks is out. In for the first time is Urgi Musalari, number 41. With Whipple inbounding for Ledyard. 33-25, Kennedy ahead of the number 12 seed Ledyard. Frank guarded by Beeman. Ledyard going right to left. Cagle with a move. Cagle driving with a contention from Musalari. Teamwork by Kennedy. Here goes Beeman. Beeman gets by, goes outside to Musalari. Now Zielinski for 3. He misses the 3. Alves gets the offensive rebound. He pump fakes once. He finds Serrano, and he was fouled in the right low post. 2 free throws for Serrano.
Boy, I got to tell you what. This is one game that would give coaches odds like you wouldn't believe. With the pace of this, each team is taking chances on defense left and right. Sometimes they're getting away with it. Sometimes they're being called on it.
First free throw is good by Serrano. Kennedy 5 of 8 from the free throw line. What was that saying you had to get when we were doing the Naugatuck game? It was something about Tums, or what was it? I got out. What was it? It was so funny. I'm gonna have to go back and listen.
Yeah.
It was really funny though.
Okay.
Second free throw is good. 6 of 9 is Kennedy from the free throw line. It's back to a 10-point lead for Kennedy. Under a minute to play in this first half. Number 4, Kennedy. Number 12, Ledyard. Zielinski guarding Cagle. Cagle to Ryan Outlaw. Outlaw gives it to Jonah Eddy. Eddy to Luther, who's back into the game. Luther gets by a couple defenders with a move. Serrano had it tipped. Keeping it alive is Zielinski. Musolari, long vertical pass. It's tipped high to Alves. Alves regains. Serrano gets the ball back. Serrano, he misses. And it's right over back to Cagle off Ledyard. Down to 30 seconds in this first half. Cagle guarded by Serrano. Cagle working on Serrano. Cagle, and the foul called on Serrano.
Now that should have been called on the ground because he was not going up for the shot as of yet, but watch the official. He's going to give him 2 shots.
That's on Musolari, so that's not on Serrano, so it's going to be Musolari's first, team's 8th, and 2 shots.
See, I agree with the foul on that, no doubt about it, but it was definitely on the floor. It was not in the act of shooting.
First free throw by Cagle here is good.
He's been money from the free throw line.
He's only missed 1. 5 of 7 from the free throw line is Ledyard, the number 12 seed. Currently 35-26. Cagle trying to make it 35-27. Second free throw. Yes! 6 of 8 from the free throw line is Ledyard. Beeman working on Luther. Beeman still dribbling. Beeman floats it to Serrano. Serrano from in the paint. He misses, he fights for the ball. Ledyard trying to cut down the deficit. Luther driving, and it's no good, but no! Oh boy.
No. The ball has to have a chance of going in. That ball did not have any chance of going in. That should not have been a goaltend. If the ball had a chance of going in, then you call the goaltend. But that ball had no chance whatsoever.
Serrano inbounding to Alves. Down to 5 seconds. Alves floats it high to Serrano. Serrano to Chauncey Hicks before the buzzer. No good. And we go through the first half with the score. 35-29. Kennedy leading at half. We'll send it back to the station and recap this Division III quarterfinal here from Kennedy High School. Right here on 1320 WHR 97.7 FM.
Chris, signal me when you come up. Signal me.
We're back here at halftime. Kennedy High School in Town of Plot, part of Waterbury, at the Jack Taglia court with a legend sitting next to me here. What we refer to on air as the godfather of coaching in the MVL, Coach Nick Augelli at Crosby High School. Thank you for joining me at halftime.
Yeah, it's my old ground era. I grew up in Town Plot. Me, Jack Taglia, Reggie O'Brien, Joe DeStasio, a lot of coaches come out of Town Plot.
A lot of coaches come.
Yeah.
I remember Reggie O'Brien as well.
Yeah.
He was he went over to Post eventually, didn't he?
Yeah.
Went from Wilby to Post.
Yep.
So, Coach, you know, I got to ask you to help me. I've been analyzing the game, obviously, on the radio during the game, but you have a different perspective being up in the stands up there. What do you think about the game plan for Kennedy versus the game plan with Ledyard? It's a lot of defense and a lot of transition going on out there.
I don't like the way Ledyard's hanging around. They're turning the ball. Kennedy's turning Ledyard around a lot. You know, they're throwing bad passes, and they're not converting at the other end. There was one series there was like 3-4 turnovers. Ledyard turned it over, Kenny turned it over, and Ledyard turned it over again. But I feel comfortable that Kenny can pull this out. Ledyard is not impressing me too much.
Yeah, I think Coach Levasseur will be talking to his players at halftime about keeping the possession of the ball, having a little more value to that possession as opposed to just trying to throw up a shot and go helter-skelter out there.
Yeah, it's like right near the end there. There was 23 seconds, you know, and you're up by 10 points or 8 points. You hold for the last shot, and the Kennedy player fired it up, missed a shot. They came down, questionable goaltending call, and you know, we got a 6-point game right now, and it should really be like a 12-point game.
And I love when you say questionable goaltending call, because you should have heard me on the radio when that went up. I said, that's no way that was a goaltend.
Yeah.
So that was a very diplomatic way of saying you don't think it was a goaltend. So, Coach, you know, I got to ask you, and I know you, obviously your season's ended, and you know, you had a good run with the group that you had there. I think you got a lot out of the players. You know, you're going to lose Rivera next year, but you got a good nucleus coming back. How do you feel about next year?
I'm really excited. We hit a buzzsaw against Northwest Catholic. They're going to be in the finals with Bristol Central, no question in my mind. They shot 71% from the field against us. We shot 20. Rivera had a great game, but he got a little tired near the end, and yeah, I have a bunch of sophomores. Jason Robinson, these are juniors coming back, and then all my other players are sophomores. So I'm looking forward to next year. We lost guys this year, you know, discipline problems and, you know, getting hurt. We had one player, his mother sent him to go to the dentist about 3 weeks before the end of the season. He had a few teeth pulled, and he was gone for 2 weeks. So we never had that continuity. But I feel next year we should be there. And you know, Holy Cross got a good nucleus coming back. Kenny's losing a bunch of their players. Wilby, they're losing their best player, Cruz. So the Naugatuck, I mean, you know, they're losing their whole squad there.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Mike. You know, sometimes when you're overhyped like that, and you run to a team and they don't meld together, and then you know you get the team. And I told my players at the beginning of this tournament, 2 things that go to states. We've been in the finals for six times, and you have to be good and you have to be lucky. Okay, Naugatuck was good, but they weren't lucky in the last game. So but Kenny's got a nice road head. They got a nice road head. I'm impressed. They're probably going to play. Was it Colby?
Yeah, Colby will be their next opponent should they win.
They won.
Colby, no, I'm saying should Kennedy win tonight.
Kenny, okay.
Yeah, Colby will be their next opponent. And then they lost to him during the regular season pretty handily. But you know about the old tournament jinx and everything, you know. You can lose to a team during the regular season, but things can change in the playoffs and anything can happen. That's why we play the games.
But Kenny's got all these. They have all they got the big guys inside. They play tough inside. They got Manny playing guard. So they have all the tools. They just got you know, the name of the game is to make shots. If you're going to make shots in the game, you're going to make it to the tournament. That's the bottom line.
They just can't fall asleep during the second half and get too overconfident out there, because I think that's what happened when they got up by 11 points. They got a little too overconfident out there, broke away from their game plan, got into that helter-skelter up and down the court, and let the Ledyards back in the game.
You know, they got to come out. They got to press this team. I mean, they played a great defense against them. A couple times they pressed, but Ledyard has a problem. I've never seen a coach sub so many. He had to play 10, 11 guys already.
Yeah, you know, he said he was going to go deep in his bench. He said that, you know, he's trying to mimic the Crosby of old, you know, create your offense off your defense. But I don't think that they have the talent equipped enough to do that against this Kennedy team. I think that Kennedy will come away with the victory as long as they don't fall asleep at some point in time during the second half.
Yeah, Ledyard doesn't have, I say the most important player on the team is a point guard. Ledyard doesn't have that. You know, Kenny has Manny, and he does a nice job. And also Sincere, he can play the point too. So they have the tools, and I think they're gonna eventually pull. They had a run there, and Ledyard came back in, but there's the Ledyard.
Hold on. Let's get him over here. Jack.
Here's a legend right from Tom Platt. Here's a big legend.
So I'm going to get one legend on and then the other legend on. All right. Thank you, Coach Angeli.
All right. He's the dean. Now he's been the head coach longer than me. All right, here you go. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Sit down,
Hold on. I will do it like this right now.
There we go.
Hey, long time no see, Coach.
Dave,
you used to be my play-by-play guy. Good to see you. We were talking about you. Nick was talking about all the coaches that came out of Town Plot here and everything.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, and mentioned Reggie O'Brien as well too.
Nick,
and
myself, Joe DeStazio, Reggie. Yeah, we all lived within a block of each other growing up.
How's retirement treating you?
Man, is that a trick question or what? Good. I enjoy it. You know, try to get to the gym in the morning and start my day, and from there it takes me wherever I can go.
Well, we got just a little time left, so give me your analysis of this game and where it's going.
I love Kennedy's aggressiveness. I'll tell you right now, they play excellent defense on the ball. You know, they got to capitalize down the other end.
Yep.
You know, they let a 10-point lead slide. But I'm going to tell you something. They play hard. Armin does a great job. You know, I can't say enough nice things about what he's done with this program, and it's only his first year, and these kids are only going to get better.
First year on his second round.
First year on his second round. That's right. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
He coached with me. I coached him, and you know, that's how it went. But no, I'm happy for him, and things are going well.
Thanks for coming over.
Hey, thanks
I
for
miss you,
asking.
man. I'm
Dave,
glad you came over and said hi.
You guys are the best. Thanks.
Thank you. That's Coach Jack Taglia. The gym here is named, and the court is named after him here. A wonderful basketball player, a wonderful person. Not only a basketball coach, but a wonderful person. One of those qualities that we talk about with a coach, not only does he teach basketball, but life lessons as well. Chris, first half, leading scores before we get going here.
For the team that is leading in Kennedy, it is number 21, senior David Zielinski, and for Ledyard, it is number 10. Or rather, with 10 points, number 35, senior Jarrell Cagle.
And Cagle is their go-to guy.
He is.
He is. You can tell that. And you know what? He's not very tall, but, man, he's solid. You know, he's a solid player, and he's got some good moves, and you can tell that he's their go-to player. Well, again, you heard it from both coaches. Kennedy has to be a little better with their possessions and convert when they get the turnovers. Here we go, Chris.
Possession will be starting with Ledyard, who is down 35-29. Just starting the third quarter here from Kennedy High School. Winner plays the winner of Berlin and Kobe. Out low with two in the right corners. Ledyard goes left to right on your dial. Cagle on the drive. Cagle, low percentage contested. Right to Zielinski. One and done is Ledyard. Here go the Kennedy Eagles and Manny Beeman. Beeman to Zielinski. Zielinski, Serrano from the free throw line.
Oh, we gotta make
in and
those.
out. And one and done is Kennedy as Cagle gets a defensive rebound.
But that was a high percentage shot. You got to take that.
Out low, fade away, swish. And Ledyard strikes first. Out low with 8 points thus far in this game. A 4-point lead. Give and go Zielinski to Hicks. He misses in the right low post. Ledyard's able to get the ball. Another one and done for Kennedy. They're in the transition. They've got something, does Ledyard. Cagle with two. Goes outside to Luther to regain. Back to Cagle for three. Yes! And that's a big-time three from a big-time player in Jarrell Cagle. He's got 13. It's a 1-point lead for Kennedy. Outside, and then Hicks threw it right over to Manny Beeman. Luther, transition, the swipe, the miss, and the finish by Frank. And Ledyard quickly has the lead. They're up by 1, 36-35.
I can tell you what, remember what I said, and I didn't say it because I was interviewing coaches at this halftime. The first 2-3 minutes of the opening of the second half kind of dictates the way it can go. And right now, you know, Kennedy is being very sloppy with the ball, and Ledyard has come back and taken the lead.
Beeman finds Serrano, and Serrano will finish in the left low post. He's got 7. It's a back and forth here from Kennedy High School. A 1-point lead for Kennedy, 37-36, 6:13 to go in this third quarter. Luther will go to Cagle. Cagle to Frank with Alves guarding. Frank spinning. Frank lost the ball. It's loose. On top of it is Keefe of Ledyard. And now a jump ball has been called. Possession will be Kennedy.
And I was watching the Ledyard player. He's looking at the ref. He's calling timeout, timeout, timeout. Well, guess what? No one had possession. You can't call timeout.
A full court press for Ledyard. Inbounding is Serrano as Kennedy going right to left on your dial. Truhar, who's back in with 3 personal fouls. They break the press. Beeman outside. Alves decides not to pull for the 3. He gives it to Zielinski for 3. And he misses the 3. Keefe gets a defensive rebound. One and done is Kennedy.
Too many three-point shots being taken by Kennedy. Got to get that ball in closer and get the high percentage shots.
It's a 1-point lead for Kennedy. Luther looking for somebody outside. Finds Cagle. Cagle has 13 points, got his 1,000 point against Massick in their first round game in Division III. Luther driving. Luther misses. Fighting for the ball is Beeman and Frank. And while the foul called on Frank, that's going to be his 3rd. Team's first here in the second half.
Those little guys are battling with each other out there.
Are you
and
shocked?
look, they're not going to give up.
No.
They're staying with the diamond and 1 press right now. Or no, is it a man-to-man?
Serrano inbounding to Zielinski, to Beeman. Beeman working on Cagle. Beeman outside. Alves for the triple.
See, we're
it's an air ball.
settling for the three-point shot. You're going to die by that jumper if you don't start trying to get that ball inside.
They found an opening in Luther in the left corner as Ledyard going left to right on your dial. Cagle guarded by Zielinski. Cagle drops, working on Zielinski. He throws it right to Truart of Kennedy. Truart gives it over to Zielinski horizontally. Zielinski's on the move. Zielinski goes. Zielinski finishes. He's got 13, Dave. I think he got away with offensive foul there.
No, there was hardly any contact on that whatsoever.
Okay.
That was a good no call.
That's why I have you here.
That was
Luther
a very good no call.
gets by Beeman. He puts it up high. He misses. Alves gets a defensive rebound. One and done is Ledyard. Alves is working. Alves working on Frank. Alves draws the foul.
And it's good.
Good. It is good by Sincere Alves. Whoa, Sincere Alves, have a day. That was a fadeaway foul, too.
That was a great move by him. He knew he was going to shoot all along there, but what a great job to keep your body squared to the basket and get the ball up with a chance of going in.
He's got 11, looking for 12.
Got it.
7 of 10 from the free throw line is Kennedy. 12 points for Sincere Alves. 41-36 Kennedy.
So it's the same lead as at halftime. Kennedy is up by 6. Ledyard made a run at it and got the lead a couple times, but Kennedy came running back again.
Ledyard has Whipple, Cagle, Keith, Outlow, and Jonah Eddy. Eddy guarded by Beeman. Eddy with a move to the left side. Eddy goes in. It was contested by Serrano. Here goes Kennedy again with Beeman this time. Beeman fakes a couple and puts it in. The smallest player is able to drive hard in the right low post. He's got 8. 44-36 Kennedy. 4 minutes to go in the third. Whipple to Cagle for the 3. Rims in and out. One and done is Ledyard again. A little bit of a streak by Kennedy, Dave.
A little bit of run by Kennedy Eagles saying, no, we're not going to let this be a close game. And then they lose the ball at half court. Cagle, opportunity underneath, goes up, gets the foul, but cannot convert. Sorry, I had to take it from you there.
You're good. That's going to be on Serrano. That's his second, team's first. And Dave, that's a case of Beeman playing a little bit too much with the basketball there.
Yeah, he just brought it out in front too much, and that's what happened. Player took it right away from him.
Cagle has only missed 1 free throw thus far, has made all but 1. First free throw, good.
What a form this kid has, let me tell you. Perfect form. Gets just the right elevation out of his legs, gets that ball back, waves goodbye to it, gets good rotation on it, good arc on it. Great foul shooting. 6
of 7 from the free throw line is Cagle, looking to make it 7 of 8. His father was a great player back in the day, Dave.
Well, you see, he's got some of that genes.
Second free throw is no good, 1 of 2. Ledyard 6 of 9 from the free throw line. Serrano bringing it up for Kennedy. Serrano has to be careful. He does. He finds Truart horizontally. Truart is driving. Truart goes outside to Zielinski. Passing around is Kennedy, the three-point line as they go right to left. Beeman playing with it again. And a timeout called by Ledyard. Or is it a timeout?
No, it's going to be a foul.
Foul on who?
I don't know.
Still waiting to see a signal.
30-second timeout called by Ledyard. Had possession, called timeout.
And we'll keep it right here.
Well, I hate that. You know, it's like you don't know who has the possession of it or anything, and somehow a timeout comes out of it. It's just and trying to hard to find out what's going on out there. You know, both teams are going off, and you don't know if there's going to be a foul called or what was happening. But hey, it was a timeout called, and that's the way it goes. Ledyard still not going away. You know how both coaches, Taglian and Coach Argelli, said they don't like the fact that Ledyard isn't going away. You know, in other words, alluding to the fact that if they stay in this game long enough, there's a chance they could turn around and pull it off.
They're a scrappy bunch, just like their head coach in DJ Exum, who prided himself on defense when he was playing back at New London, and then when he was an assistant coach at New London for Coach Parker. Whipple, Ledyard has the possession. Green, who's back into the game, he has 2 personal fouls. Beeman going for the steal. Truart is able to take it away right from Green. Here goes Truart. Truart is fouled in the right low post, and 2 free throws for Kennedy. And they're going to call the foul on Green. That's his 3rd, team 2nd.
Fouls are piling up against Ledyard now. And they are fairly deep, but I don't think their talent runs as deep.
They're about 3 deep on the bench. They go 8 strong. 5 starters, 3 bench. First free throw, Trueheart is good. It's a swish.
Good form by the young man. Again, nice legs, follow through, arc, wave goodbye at the ball. Nothing but net.
Waiting for the second free throw is Trueheart. It's good again. As the summer sound, as you would say?
Swish, it's a summer sound, the old Pearl Street logo.
Love it. 46-37 in favor of Kennedy. 3 minutes to play in the third. Whipple dribbling. Whipple still dribbling. Finds Outlow. Outlow outside to Jonah Eddy. Eddy to Cagle. Cagle's been the money man for Ledyard in this game. Back over to Whipple, guarded by Alves. Alves staring down Whipple 3/4 of the court as Ledyard's going left to right on your dial. Whipple still dribbling. Horizontal, it's intercepted by Zielinski. Here goes Zielinski again, and Zielinski, it just rolls out. He missed another dunk. Zielinski goes outside and it's intercepted by Ledyard. A long vertical pass to Cagle. Cagle gets by Trueheart and he misses in the left low post. Trueheart back over to Beeman. Beeman, a lot of sloppiness on both sides. Alves outside, Zielinski for 3. Bang! A 3 by David Zielinski. 16 for the senior. 49-37 Kennedy. Whipple trying to get by Serrano, guarded by 2. Throws it off the knee of Alves. Possession stays with Kennedy. Dave, that was a lot of sloppiness on both sides there.
Yes, it's a very sloppy game, and that's what scares me because Kennedy is very streaky, and then they can also disappear when that happens. So you hope that if you're a Kennedy fan, you know, that they don't disappear during a very sloppy helter-skelter type play out there.
Whipple still dribbling over to Cagle. Cagle catch and shoot 3. Answers back. The swish by Darrell Cagle.
Still hanging around.
9-point lead for Kennedy, but it's not safe. Trueheart, what a move. Trueheart with a finish in the right low post. What a play by Hakeem. Trueheart gets by the senior Cagle. 11-point lead back for Kennedy. And then Trueheart able to make a defensive play. Fighting for the ball is Ryan Outlow. Outlow, and then it's going to be Manny Beeman. Beeman vertical to Alves. Alves will finish easy in the right low post. Not a question that he would not dunk that.
Good man. Use the glass, get the points. Keep the lead going, the streak going.
13-point lead for Kennedy and a foul called on Ryan Outlow in the left low post. Let's see who it's on. It looks like that's going to be on Serrano. That's now his third, team second. That's 3 on Trueheart, 3 on Serrano, 1 on everybody else. 2 shots for Ryan Outlow. He was 1 of 2 back in the second quarter. Ledyard is 6 of 9 thus far from the stripe. First free throw. Good.
Man, these guys have good free throw shooting form. Unbelievable. You can tell they're well coached from the free throw line.
Well, Ryan Outlow's brother, who's on the staff, was also a great football and basketball player for Ledyard back in the day as well. Second free throw, good. 8 of 11 from the free throw line is Ledyard. Full court press by Ledyard. Beeman dribbling. Beeman driving. Outside Zielinski again. Another left corner 3. Misses. Serrano gets the rebound and puts it in the left low post. The monster from down low puts it in for Kennedy.
And they were missing that in the first half.
And then Serrano makes a play. It's an interception. Trueheart going. Trueheart puts in.
Oh my God!
Oh, how did he do that? Oh, what a play by Hakeem Trueheart. And the crowd is loud here at Kennedy. 57-42 in favor of the number 4 seed Kennedy. Green dribbles, finds Cagle, and it's no good. And they called the foul on Zielinski.
That was a shot that would make Larry Bird smile.
How much of that was luck?
100% of it.
Now, can you describe that? Because I think you would do much
He
better
jumped
than
up
me.
in the air, he twisted around, he tried to spin it against the backboard, but he didn't. He threw it up too high, and it just went right in the hoop.
First free throw by Cagle is good. 9 of 12 from the free throw line is Ledyard. Mussolari's in. David Zielinski's out with under 35 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Now let's see if Kennedy does what they did in the second quarter and disappear the last 32 seconds of the game and let Ledyard back in this game.
Free throw made by Cagle. He's got 20. 10 of 13 from the free throw line is Ledyard. 57-44 in favor of Kennedy. DJ Exum cheering on his squad, looking for something defensively. Ball is hit out. Last touch by Ledyard. Possession stays with Kennedy. Almost had that ball hit away. As Coach Levasseur even saying to Hakeem right now, eyes on the ball. Serrano inbounding for Kennedy behind the Ledyard basket. Finds Trueheart. Trueheart back outside to Beeman. Down to 17 seconds in the third quarter. Beeman will dribble a couple times. Still dribble. Down to 12 seconds. Beeman still dribbling. Beeman found a lane. Beeman can't make it. Then putting in, no, that's Serrano. Down to 4 seconds. And then tipped away by Trueheart, but it goes out of bounds. 1.5 seconds to go in this third quarter. 57-44.
Catch and shoot.
We've seen it during the regular season here in the NVL, Dave.
Yep. Catch and shoot.
Eddie inbounding. Eddie to Whipple. Whipple before the buzzer. No good. We're through 3 here in the Division III quarterfinal. 57-44. Kennedy goes through, or rather enters the fourth quarter with the lead. We'll be back with fourth quarter action in just a moment. This is the Division III quarterfinal right here on 1320 WHR 97.7 FM.
Okay, back for fourth quarter action here at Kennedy High School in Waterbury, Connecticut. Ledyard will take the ball in. Kennedy is in the lead, 57-44.
Whipple driving. Whipple outside the 3 to Green, who has 3 personal fouls. Whipple wearing number 2. Whipple will dribble. Whipple lost the ball. It's taken away. That's Beeman of Kennedy. Beeman driving. Beeman can't make it in the right low post. That's a rare miss by Beeman. Here goes Cagle of Ledyard. Cagle with a move. Cagle then misses. Alves to Hicks, who's back into the game for Kennedy. 1 and done for both sides to begin this fourth quarter.
You got to keep possession of the ball. Be careful. Oh, Trueheart, just nice, easy, right to the rim. Nobody guarded him. Easy bucket for Trueheart.
He's got 8. 59-44 Kennedy over Ledyard. Green with a nice position in the right low post. Goes outside to Eddie, rather. He misses. And then Cagle misses in the left low post. A fight for the ball. A jump ball has been called. Possession Kennedy. And how about Alves? He's like, this way.
Yeah. Which way's the beach? That way.
You were saying that when you were in Florida a couple weeks
ago.
ago.
Yes, I was. And now look at this. Ledyard has pulled back their full court pressure. They're going to pick them up at half court. I don't know if that's because their fouls are piling up or they're getting tired. I'm not sure.
Trueheart to Beeman. Alves, correction, that's Hicks. Hicks driving. Hicks with a finish in the right low post. Hicks has 6. 61-44 Kennedy over the number 12 seed Ledyard. Under 7 to play in this game. The winner takes on the winner of Kobe and Berlin to be played on Wednesday. Green, that game will be a neutral site game. Jonah Eddy working on Beeman. Eddy lost the ball, that's Beeman. Kennedy has the numbers. Beeman was fouled hard by Keith. That's his third, team's third.
I think that was a great move by Beeman. He did have a player with him on the side, but a trailer from Ledyard that could have interrupted that. You got someone on your back, go up for the shot, let him hit you, go to the free throw line.
Beeman is 3 of 4 from the free throw line in this game. Kennedy total is 9 of 12. Beeman has 8, looking for 9 and 10. First free throw. No good.
In and out.
9 of 13 from the free throw line. Zielinski is being subbed in for Serrano. Now, do you see that by Coach Levasseur? Kind of subbing out his big guys, but one by one, giving them selective breaks.
Yes, he's not taking them both out at the same time, which is smart on his part.
Second free throw by Beeman, good. Beeman has 9. Kennedy is 10 of 14 from the free throw line. 62-44 in favor of Kennedy. Whipple This game is not over by any means. Keefe driving, Keefe finishes. The big guy, number 33, with a finish in the right low post. He's got 4. 62-46. Trueheart for 3. Misses the 3. One and done is Kennedy.
Poor shot selection by Trueheart that time. You see, this is what happens to Kennedy sometimes. They get this big lead, and then they do poor shot selection, and there's 4 quick, easy points by Ledyard.
Keefe now with 6. Now Alves, being the senior, kind of quieting it down, slowing it down a little bit. Alves still dribbling, working on Green. Green slapped it away. Last touch by said Green. Possession stays with Kennedy at about midcourt. Luther will be coming in. Out will be Whipple. Also, Zielinski will be inbounding the ball for Kennedy. 5:45 to go in this game. 62-48 in favor of Kennedy. Zielinski inbounding to Beeman. Beeman, top of the key. Beeman outside to Trueheart. Trueheart guarded by Luther quickly in the left low post. Trying to make a pass. It's intercepted by Ledyard. Here go the Colonials. Green, number 1. Green, step back. Green looking. Green then throws it right to Kennedy. A miscut by Ledyard. And then Trueheart as it's thrown away by Zielinski. Not good on both sides.
Not taking good care of their possessions. Now, if Ledyard comes down here and scores, that's 6 in a row. And Kennedy was in a great lead. Are they going to call foul outside before the shot?
That's going to be on Beeman. That's his second, team's 4th. Each team now with 4 team fouls, and the foul is called on the court, so it will be inbounded behind the basket of Kennedy. As Frank will be coming in, look to see who's coming out of the game. It looks to be Jonah Eddy, the sophomore. He's out. Frank is in.
See, Kennedy was up 17, and now Ledyard's gone on a 9-1 run to cut this lead down to 12.
Keefe with the made basket. He scored all the points thus far in this 4th quarter for Ledyard. Beeman dribbling. Beeman 3/4 of the court. Give and go to Trueheart. Trueheart to Hicks. Hicks was fouled, but nothing was called in the right low post.
He got slapped in the face. I don't know how you can't call that. That was absolutely a horrible, horrible call by the officiating to not blow the whistle on that foul. I mean, he got mugged. I mean, if you're going to watch the video, you'll see it. He got mugged on the play. No call, bad call by the official.
Serrano's in, Hicks is out. Frank dribbling in the paint, and then a tipped by Serrano, but then they'll say that Keefe stepped out of bounds. Possession back over to the Kennedy Eagles with 4:51 to go in the game. 62-50, a 12-point lead for the number 4 seed Kennedy. Serrano inbounding over to Alves in the corner, gives it to Beeman. Beeman was held, no foul called. Give and go to Serrano. Serrano hard, good in the paint by Serrano. He's got 11. And we'll have a timeout called by Kennedy. We'll take a timeout as well. 4:43 to go in this game. A 14-point lead for Kennedy over the number 12 seed, the Ledyard Colonials. This is the Division III quarterfinal of boys basketball right here on 1320 WATR, 97.7 FM.
Here we are back at Kennedy High School. Kennedy holding on to a 14-point lead, 64-50, with 4:43 left in this game. Coach Levasseur didn't like the way Ledyard had a little streak going on there. Decided to call timeout, regroup his troops. Great call for a timeout by there. Both these guys are great coaches on each end. It's a cat and dog. They're going back and forth. They're trying to outguess each other. I can bet you anything Ledyard's going to come out in a different defense, and so is Kennedy.
This is a Ledyard team that started the season 2-5. They went 10-3 the rest of the way. So they are not giving up by any means, regardless of the score, Dave.
Nope, they will not.
Luther for Ledyard, guarded by Beeman, gives it over to Frank. Frank pulls up for the triple, misses the 3. Outlaw gets to the offensive rebound. Outlaw driving, Outlaw will finish. He cannot be stopped in the right low post. He's got 12. Serrano inbounding, over to Beeman. Beeman gets by Frank. Beeman dribbling for Kennedy. He'll go back outside to Trueheart. Trueheart with a lane. tries to make a pass in the corner. It's going to be Alves. Alves back to Beeman to slow it down a tad. And then a reach-in foul by Frank. That's going to be his fourth, team's fourth.
I think Coach Levasseur told him to take a little air out of the ball and to try to move the ball around a little more and get a high percentage shot. Now, whether Kennedy players can do that or not, we're going to find out.
Hold on. I think we may have something here. They're saying that Frank has 5. Okay, I had him down for 4, but if he's got 5, his day is done.
And it is.
Wow, so his day is done with 4 points. Inbounding will be Serrano, and it looks like, trying to see who came in, it looks like it was Jonah Eddy for Ledyard, who's back into the game. Beeman gets the ball, the inbound pass. Beeman driving, Beeman trying to get by the trees, and he's fouled. Let's see if that's on Keith, and if it is, that's his 4th, and it is.
Yeah, like I said before, the fouls are really piling up against Ledyard. We got 1 player gone already, 1 on the verge. You get another player out of there, and it's going to be very difficult for this Ledyard team to get back in the game.
But Kennedy's got to make their free throws, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
First free throw, good.
And just as you said that, young man steps up. Point guard's got to be a good foul shooter. Has to be a good foul shooter.
Now, why is that?
Because they're going to have the ball in their hands at the end of the game if you go into a slowdown, and they're the ones that are going to get fouled, and you got to make the foul shots.
12 of 16 from the free throw line is Kennedy. Both free throws made. 66-52 in favor of Kennedy. Under 4 to play in this game. Ledyard looking for something offensively. Outlaw, who has 12 points. Outlaw on the drive, and the foul called on Kennedy.
Now that is a bad call for one reason. You see this on video. The referee underneath the hoop, who was totally blocked out from that call, made the call, while the referee out here, who could see the heads-up contact, had a no call on that. So that should have been his call over here, not the guy underneath that was blocked out. That was not a foul, that was a bad call.
Outlaw, first free throw, good. Ledyard has been good from the free throw line. They're 11 of 14. Zielinski's out, Hicks is back in.
As a referee, you got to know what area is your call. And if you're blocked off, you shouldn't be making the call. You should let the guy that has the direct look at it make the call, and that didn't transpire that time.
Outlaw, second free throw, made the first, and per usual, makes the second. 12 of 15 is Ledyard from the free throw line. 66-54, a 12-point lead for Kennedy. Beeman still dribbling, under 4 to play in this game, 3:37 to be exact. The winner will play the winner of Kobe and Berlin. Hicks to Serrano. Serrano gives it over to Alves.
Taking the air out of the ball, you see that?
Alves driving, Alves floats it high, and it's good. It's better to be lucky than good. 16 for Sincere Alves.
And that's what you do. You hold the air, hold the ball until you get a layup.
14-point lead for Kennedy. Cagle on the drive. Cagle misses. A fight for the ball. Keith has it, and Keith will put it in. The tall player, he's got 8 points. 68-56. It's back to a 12-point lead for Kennedy. Trueheart in the paint, spinning by. Goes outside to Lennox Serrano. Catch and shoot 3. Bang! Lennox Serrano with a 3. He's got 5 in this quarter. Had 9 through 3. 71-56 Kennedy. 2:44 to go in the game. Whipple outside the 3-point line to Outlaw. Outlaw from the charity stripe to Cagle for 3. Yes! And Cagle answers back from Serrano's 3 with his own 3. He's got 23.
Cagle's not going to let this game go away.
No, definitely not, especially he's a senior. Beeman gets by Eddy. Beeman outside to Serrano again for 3.
Got it again.
He did it again. Lennox Serrano, back-to-back threes. 74-59 Kennedy. 2:12 to go in the game. Whipple guarded by Alves of Kennedy. Whipple found a lane. Whipple with a nice windmill in the right low post. Finger roll.
Trading baskets back and forth right now.
6 for Whipple. 74-61. Under 2 to play in this game. DJ Exum saying defense. Denton Trueheart misses in the right low post. One and done is Kennedy. Here they go, the Ledyard Colonials. Whipple, fade away. It's a miss. Puts it back in is Keith. He's got 10. Full court press by Ledyard.
They're not going away.
Zielinski's waiting to come back into the game. Beeman, 3/4 of the court. 1:30 to go. Alves.
Gotta hold the ball. Gotta hold the ball.
Alves dribbling, trying to make a pass, puts it up, and he's fouled. And he landed hard on his elbow, Dave.
He did. Okay, so Alves will go to the line with 1:22 left in this ball game for 2 shots. Kennedy Eagles have to hit their free throws to win this game. Alves puts the first one up, nothing but net.
And this point in the game, as you said, Dave, have to make your free throws.
You have to, because Ledyard is going to foul if you try to hold the ball, because they got to get possession back. They can't score without possession of the ball.
Second free throw, good. Kennedy, Dave, you'll love this. 14 of 18 from the free throw line.
I am very pleased to hear that from an MVL team.
76-63, a 13-point lead for Kennedy.
They don't have a lot of time. They got to get a shot up.
1:10 to go in this game. Whipple lost the ball. He regained. Chuar almost had the steal, back to Whipple. Whipple with Alves in the face of Alves. It rims in and out. And then fighting for the ball near the corner. Last touch by Kennedy. Possession stays with Ledyard. We're down to a minute in the game, Dave.
A minute in the game, 13-point lead, 76-63. Kennedy Eagles in charge. Ledyard with the ball under their own hoop.
Cagle, catch and shoot 3. Misses. Beeman fighting for the ball. He was hit in the face. No foul called. There's Outlaw for 3. He misses the 3. Serrano gets a defensive rebound. Here goes Beeman. No, Beeman's going to slow it down a tad. Beeman on the dribble to Alves. Down to 43 seconds in the game.
Yeah, this should be game right now. I don't think you're going to see any fouls by the Ledyard team.
Alves back to Beeman. Beeman spinning around Cagle. Beeman.
No, you're not going to have any fouls. Ledyard's going to say, that's all. 28 seconds left. It's all academic right now. Kennedy's not even going to try to score. They're just holding the ball. Ledyard has succeeded the fact that they're going to lose this game. Giving a little token defense out there, but everyone knows 76-63, going to be the end of this ball game. Ledyard put up a really, really good fight with the Eagles, but the Eagles just overpowered them at the end to go to the semis. I think this is their first time in the semis in a long time. At first ever.
It'll be the first time since the 2016-2017 season that the Kennedy Eagles are heading to the semifinal. They play the winner of Kobe and Berlin. As my partner said, survive and advance. Kennedy survives, and they will advance. The score, 76-63. Kennedy defeats Ledyard. We'll send it back to the station and wrap this up as we will bring you Wednesday night's game, I should say. Don't know where it's going to be, but we will find that out. The quarterfinal Division III game right here on 1320 WHR 97.7 FM.
We're back here at Kennedy High. Kennedy High School has won the quarterfinals and will be heading to the semifinals. That game will be broadcast on WATR radio Wednesday evening. Not sure of the location as of yet, but when we find out, I'm sure it will be promoted on the station during the next day or so. Kennedy, absolutely fantastic tonight. Outscored Ledyard 17-12 in the first quarter, 18-17 in the second, then pushed ahead 22-15 in the third, and they tied each other at 19 in the fourth, giving Kennedy that 76-63 victory tonight.
Dave, they
yes.
will be playing Kobe.
Yes, I already heard that Kobe won. So they'll be playing Kobe Cathedral, a team that they lost to during the regular season. But ladies and gentlemen, don't let that bother you. This is tournament basketball, and anything can happen. This is why we play the games, because otherwise you just give the trophy to the #1 seed, and we don't do that. So a great game tonight here. I thought Coach Armin Levasseur did a super job of adjusting to the high-intensity defense that Ledyard was throwing at them. They didn't crumble. They disappeared a little bit during the end of the second quarter. However, you know, they came out, and after Ledyard got the lead in the third quarter, turned around and said, okay, that's it. We're going to put this into high gear. And they did, and they took off and came away with that 13-point victory. Nice to see people like Coach Ronan O'Leary here. We got the star, Sinceri Alvarez from Kennedy High School. Man, welcome to the 1,000-Point Club.
Thank you.
I did mine back in 1980. That was a long time ago.
Okay.
You guys did a great job out there tonight,
Appreciate it.
handling their defense. What do you think the key to the victory was tonight?
Oh, rebounds and pushing the ball. Defense, definitely defense, though.
Yeah, they were putting like the old Crosby type defense on you, trapping all over.
It was just really being patient, waiting for the trap, because if you trap, you know, we got Lennox wide open, then he's going to open everything up, so that's all we needed.
So you're going to go against Colby again, and there's place in sight to be determined. You went against them the regular season. You came up on the short end. Got any ideas for this next game?
Yeah, everybody played a bad game. They were off their game. So they do the same thing they did. They're going to trap, just be patient, move the ball, and I think we'll get the victory. A lot of rebounds, too.
Great job tonight, man. We're
Appreciate
proud of you
it.
guys. You know, I have 3 kids that graduate from here, so
Okay.
you know, my heart's here with an Eagles.
Yes,
you know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Appreciate
So
it.
good luck in the semis. We'll
Thank
be
you.
there to do it on Wednesday night in a place and site to be determined.
Okay, appreciate it.
Chris, final thoughts on this game? Well, you want to give the high scores first, and then final thoughts.
High scores, we'll start with Kennedy. It was 18 points from the man we just spoke to in Sincere Alves. And for Ledyard, it was number 23, Jarrell Cagle, who, and you know what, real quick, because I know obviously we know Kennedy well, but let's give kudos where kudos is deserved. Ledyard fought until the very end to the seniors in Frank and Whipple, Keefe, Cagle, Carly, Clouston as well. You know, best of luck in their journeys. Obviously, Jarrell Cagle and Connor Keefe have aspirations of wanting to play basketball at the next level. Cagle in particular, who became a part of that 1,000-point club. This is a team, Dave, that is returning back a lot of players. And first-year coach DJ Exum, to get his team to a quarterfinal, replacing one of the best coaches in Connecticut, and Coach Cornish, who's now at NFA, a part of the ECC. Fine job out of him, and I don't think this is the last that we've heard from Ledyard.
No, I don't think it is either. I think he's going to build a wonderful program over there. And again, you know, kudos to them, but I'm going to revert it right back over to Kennedy. Kudos to LeVar. Coach Levasseur, I'm sorry. I got my tongue wrapped around my eye tooth. I couldn't see what I was saying there. Coach Levasseur coming back in his second stint and taking his team to the semifinals, coming back his first year. That's hats off to a coach to be able to accomplish that. Let's hope and pray that we could be broadcasting their game at Mohegan this weekend.
And now I did get a text that Holy Cross is up by 3 through the end of the first quarter, so we will not know if Holy Cross, at least as of right now, if they are heading to the Sun or not. We will know within the next about 2 hours or so.
And I'm assuming you're going to text me when you find out.
I mean, don't I text you always?
Of course you do. Final thoughts on tonight, Chris?
What a game. I mean, regardless if Kennedy would have won or not, this is a game that, to be honest with you, every game that we've had, Career Darien, Naugatuck, Cross, and now Kennedy and Ledyard, these games are what we missed in 2020 and even in 2021 because of COVID. To have this back, to be in this atmosphere, we live it, we breathe it, we want it, we have it, and I wouldn't want to be next to anybody other than you to be able to do the games.
Thank you. And I got to give a quick shout out to my best friend out there. Ali Vestro did listen to the last half of the game there, said we sounded great, as did our big guy, our head honcho, Bobo. Mr. Bobo Sagendorf said we did a wonderful job. And thank you, Bob. We appreciate that. And looking forward to having you all hear us again this Wednesday night when we find out where we're going to be for Kennedy against Colby.
Now wrap things up here from Kennedy High School. I want to thank both the ADs and coaches of Ledyard and Kennedy. And thanks to Kirschmead at the 1320 WATR studios. This Division III quarterfinal game was sponsored by DeGiorgi Roofing, Drew International, your local neighborhood Waterbury pharmacies, including Bunker Hill Pharmacy, and by Ion Bank. Now make sure you stay tuned right here on 1320 WATR as the site to be determined of where we will be, but we will be on the air Wednesday between Kobe and Kennedy, the rematch of the regular season. And that's going to be for all the marbles to get to Mohegan Sun to play over the weekend. But until then, Kennedy advances to the semi, the final against number 12 Ledyard. 76-63. Kennedy wins. For Dave Grant, I'm Chris Saunders. We'll see you Wednesday night between Kennedy and Kobe. So long, everybody.